All right, Dragonflight
Hello,
pre-launch
everyone.
stream.
I'm Holly Longdale, the executive producer of World of Warcraft, and I'm here today with our lead combat designer, Brian Halinka. We're excited to be here with you to talk about Dragonflight pre-patch. First, though, we wanted to take a moment to thank you, our incredible community, for taking this journey with us. We are thrilled to invite you into Azeroth as WoW embarks on its latest adventure.
With the second part of pre-patch starting to roll out today, we wanted to check in and catch everyone up on what's happening in WoW. There's been a lot going on in the lead up to Dragonflight. We've added a whole lot to the game already. First off, the first UI revamp in the history of World of Warcraft is live. UI's received a fresh, updated look that improves the visual fidelity while increasing the customizability of tons of HUD elements like the minimap, action bars, and unit frames. The brand new class talent trees are now in the hands of players around the world. This is a project I've worked very closely with my team on. It's really cool to have that out in the hands of players now.
I remember when I first got into Classic, just the joy of earning a point and spending a point and experimenting with my character and my playstyle.
You know, customization is a big theme of Dragonflight, and these trees represent a revolution on how classes are constructed and played in World of Warcraft. It empowers players with greater control over the abilities that end up in their spellbook, and it's a deeper level of customization that gives meaningful options at every level.
Also, starting today, as Access rolls out, Dracthyr will be playable across the world if you pre-purchase Dragonflight. This is just the beginning of a bright future together.
We have Taryn and Anna, who will stop in to share more on the story of the expansion.
And then, stay with us to hear Graham and Kali talk a little more about how the Dracthyr have evolved since Alpha. And with that, it's time for the world premiere of the launch cinematic for World of Warcraft, Dragonflight. Let's take a look.
Whoa! Poor little Tuskar. Is that a female dwarf? That's 100% a female dwarf. Let's go! Beat the troll! Haha! Take that, bitch! Razagath. That is the symbolism of the blue drake being an alliance character, with the red drake being Horde. Emberthal. Alex Traza.
That was awesome.
Oh man, the team worked so hard. Just thank you so much for all your incredible work. So Taryn, you're a huge part of the narrative for Dragonflight, and I had the privilege to direct the trailer we just saw, so
let's dive in. Earlier this year, we saw the first Dragonflight cinematic and witnessed the return of the dragons to their ancestral home, the Dragon Isles. But this all-new cinematic really strives to show what lies in store for the player when they themselves answer the call.
Yeah, we really wanted to show the return to adventure. We've been away for a little while in the Shadowlands, and now we're coming back to Azeroth. And for me, when I play WoW, it's exciting and thrilling, and there's danger, but there's also moments of beauty and awe and wonder. And so that was really, really important, I think, to capture, because that's where we're going.
It's a good
and
trailer,
we knew from
this
the get-go that we wanted a Horde and Alliance to fly together. I think that when we were trying to capture, like, who could these characters be? Oh, Wildhammer Dwarf, the first Griffin riders, because they'll love to fly. And then we had the Zandalari Troll, who grew up around giant dinosaurs.
Who's
He probably
worthless.
has like animal handling plus 10. And it's kind of a little bit playfulness between them, youth and experience, heart and head. But ultimately, they're flying their dragon companions. That's gonna be a huge part of the game. And if it wasn't enough dragons there, you get to be a dragon.
Get to play a dragon. And as we saw in the Dragonflight Legacy series that we released in the last couple weeks, which if you haven't seen, go check that out.
Watch.
We saw the origin of the Dracthyr, this new race to World of Warcraft.
It's
but
the
with
only
an
thing
ancient
those
history that
cinematics
goes back
showed is
many
fucking
thousands of
Dracthyr.
years. In fact,
Nice
long
to see
before
some
he
other
was death,
characters for a
the
change.
Black Dragon Neltharion created the Dracthyr to be his loyal soldiers by taking the essence of the mortal races and of dragons and colliding them together to create just an incredibly powerful, versatile adversary.
Their story, I think, resonates with a lot of people because they are stepping into the power, they're discovering who they are. It was one of those really special kind of stories that touches your heart. The power resonates from inside their core and then travels around in all the swirling colors of all the aspects and then coalesces into the ability that they want to use. And then Eternity Surge, which is that power-up move, and they literally stomp into their power. Ability spreads down their wings, and they leap in the air, and there's an arcane blast, and you're like, whoa! And when I saw that, I was like, oh, we have to do that. In our hyper-real style and cinematics, our effects artists and our animators will just dial to 11, and it was a really special moment when that came together.
Right in the middle of the cinematic, though, we saw the debut of Razageth, a primal dragon, the Storm
Get lightning resist.
She is a dragon unlike anything we've ever seen, that elemental power that she has. And when we were making her in the cinematic, she's huge, and we wanted to show that scale. When we do these hyper-real pieces, we have to think about the realism, the realisticness. What does the inside of a dragon mouth look like? Our art director was like, have you ever seen the inside of a penguin's mouth?
A penguin.
And we were like, nope. And then, it was like, oh my gosh, they're terrifying. So we wanted her jaws coming at the screen, almost eating the camera.
Everything about her just demonstrating this, ability to move the elements at her whim. So getting back to Dragonflight Legacies for a second, we did see the birth of the original 5 flights, the ones that we're familiar with in World of Warcraft, that have been at our sides throughout all the expansions, all the way back to Cataclysm and even before. We saw how they were bestowed each with tremendous powers over certain domains as protectors of Azeroth. While the green dragons were given domain over nature and the Emerald Dream, while the bronze dragons were given the magics of time. And then we have the black dragons, stewards of the deep places of the
I wonder how
earth,
many of
and
the
blue
returning
dragons,
players
which
even
are
know
just
what the
these
Emerald
arcane
Dream is.
protectors of the magics of the world. Finally, the red Dragonflight, the flight of life, rebirth. And all of those things are completely encapsulated in the Queen of the Dragons, Alexstrasza.
She's a beloved character in WoW, and when we first saw her in the announcement cinematic, you could feel like the global, yes! And that was super powerful, and in this cinematic, we thought it was super important to show who she is, right? So to me, she's grace, she's regalness, she has like an ancient wisdom to her, but also when she breathes fire, it's not destruction, it's renewal, it's regrowth.
It's a breath
She's
of
the
life.
life finder,
Yes.
yeah. Exactly, so when we fly off into the sunset with her and the dragons, that's what we're going to. We're going for adventure, we're going for exploration, we're going for wonder, and we're going with one of the best characters, I think, in WoW.
And those are really some of the core themes of Dragonflight: renewal, rebirth. What are our legacies? What do they mean? All of these things are coming to bear in the story of Dragonflight. And we'll get to adventure with Alexstrasza, right? We get to talk to her, we get to be there with her. Also with Rathian, Kalikos, Nosdormu, all of these legendary dragons we'll meet and interact with throughout our adventures on the Dragon Isles. And it's just shaping up to be an experience we can't wait for everyone to try out.
I love all those characters, so it's just like, it's gonna be fun.
Let's talk about favorite shot.
Okay.
What's your favorite shot in the show?
I'll
three?
I'll tell you.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Tuskar in a boat. They have little baby Tuskars too. They're so cute. So yeah, fan favorite, yes. With all this talk about dragons, now is the time for the players to jump in, create their own legacy, and make their very own Dracthyr.
Graham and Collie are up next to teach
so
you exactly
incredibly
how to be
fake.
the best Dracthyr you can be. Stay tuned.
Like, even with the best of intentions, why can't they just be real, like, just once?
You have awakened to face a shattered past
Overproduced.
and an uncertain future. Yet the threads of fate weave a new path.
Today, we fight for each other. For all Dracthyr. By wing or by talon, we will see it done.
Show no mercy to these aberrations.
This is our home. The Dracthyr will defend it.
So you'll fight Razageth in the Dracthyr starting zone.
That was amazing.
That was awesome. I loved seeing those. It makes me
This
so
stream is
excited for folks to
amazing.
finally be able
This
to get
stream
in
is
there
fucking
and make
awesome.
Their Dracthyr evoker.
There's just
Isn't
so
it?
many options you have for
Yeah,
both
I
your
agree.
Dracthyr form and your Visage
This
form.
stream is
I love
fucking
that we like
awesome,
started with
dude.
a lot of options.
It's the
and then
best.
Players are like, hey, can we get some more in the alpha? And we're like, okay, have a bunch more.
So many.
I have a hard time choosing my favorite. Do you have a favorite?
I do. It's the spikes. The fact that I can add spikes to my arms, to my legs, my chest.
There's one ear customization I always choose. It's the notched option with the little
That's a very good
with the
one.
little wingy ears.
Yeah.
I think it's a top-notch customization. Okay. But there's also the really pretty scale colors that we've added because we have that deep vibrant blue and the deep vibrant red.
The blue especially. I think that's what I start with whenever I'm making a Dracthyr.
I'm really excited to customize my Visage form also.
Absolutely.
Dragons have a mortal form that they've been able to take. We thought it would be cool for Dracthyr to have the same.
I really love how much self-expression it gives players.
I like to make mine match whatever build I'm playing. So if I'm playing a new range specialization, Devastation, I'll either go with a red theme or a blue theme, depending on the build I'm doing.
That's really cool. Okay, so if I'm playing Preservation, our healer specialization, I'd probably do green scales on my Dracthyr, and then maybe bronze scales on my Visage form.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. I like that.
Once I'm done customizing, we get to hop in and start playing through the Forbidden Reach, the Dracthyr's starting experience where you learn what the Dracthyr are about and what it means to be an evoker.
They're
This
gonna be
is
able
what
to
I
try out
wanna do.
all the new abilities that really make you feel like a dragon.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Soar, the Dracthyr's new racial ability, our new in-air locomotion system that lets you launch yourself up into the air and glide and dive around the Forbidden Reach and then all the Dragon Isles.
We love Soar.
Yes.
Wanted it from day one, and players said, well, I want to do it a lot more. I
Yes.
want to go faster, fly higher. So now, when you're in the Dragon Isles, progressing your dragon riding skill tree, which also upgrades your dragon riding Drake's capabilities,
Excellent.
it'll also buff Soar, make it go faster and have a shorter cooldown while you're in the Dragon Isles.
I love how Soar makes me appreciate the landscape now
Yeah.
and just thinking about what I'm doing a little bit more.
Yeah, the first time you take off and start soaring around, it really makes you view the terrain in a different way, avoid cliffs in a different way. One of the other things players are going to be able to try in the Forbidden Reach is the Evoker's new empowered spell mechanic. So with Fire Breath, as you press and hold the key to cast it, it'll actually charge up, and the longer it charges, has additional effects, which makes you feel like a dragon in a different way.
I'm really glad that we listened to player feedback early on and added a press and tap option also, because for my own playstyle, it just flows better to be able to like tap once to start my precast and start charging, and then tap again to release that energy and cast that spell.
It's something that we heard about super early on and wanted to make sure that we gave players more options to play the game, the way that works for them. No matter which input option you're using, empowered spells really give you that feeling of physicality and being
Yes.
a dragon.
What ability makes you feel like a dragon the most?
The most, it's gotta be Deep Breath.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
oh, yeah.
We saw it in the trailer, you launch into the sky, do that strafing run and just, blowing destruction underneath you, killing probably everything. It does a lot of damage.
Does a lot of damage.
But yeah, it's easily my favorite.
Yeah, I love the talent that goes with Deep Breath, Terror of the Skies.
Yes.
Just because being able to add a stun on top of a ton of damage, it's great for my Mythic Plus runs. So we have Deep Breath on the Devastation side. On the Preservation side, we have Dreamflight.
That emerald dream energy flowing out of you, it's a lot more serene than Deep Breath, but still really powerful. And what I like about both of them is how they both make you feel very mobile, right? That sense of flight as you're in combat was super important for us.
One of my favorite ones is Rescue.
Oh yeah.
The ability to be able to pick up an ally who maybe is standing in fire and possibly place them somewhere safe. I don't know.
You can place them wherever you want. You do go with them, but I think you'll quickly learn who your friends are when they're using Rescue.
I still remember the day that talent was created.
Yeah.
I think I said to you, we're never allowed to remove this ability. And then I picked your character up and put you on a pillar.
And then you flew away and left me there.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that plays right.
Aside from the physicality, the mobility, I'm also really excited that Evokers get to use the magic from all 5 Dragonflights. They get to cast red, blue, black, bronze, and green spells, and that sort of collection of different capabilities makes them uniquely powerful.
When creating the Evokers and creating the ability for the Evokers, it was amazing to
The
be able to
hero
pull from such a
class.
different palette of abilities and colors and combine them into something new that we have.
And what better way to start practicing harnessing all that draconic magic than with our pre-patch event, Tempest Unleashed, which starts today with regional resets.
Holly and Brian are going to tell us more about it.
Good
As
God,
pre-patch
it's so
rolls out, it's not only the
overproduced.
Dracthyr that are on the move. Other forces are stirring too.
Primal storms are erupting throughout Azeroth as the presence of the primalist forces begin to take hold. Earth, ice, fire, and wind, and they appear in iconic locations across Azeroth, bringing elemental-infused enemies with them. Defeating these enemies gives you an opportunity to summon an imposing boss elemental who offers a weekly reward to everyone who defeats them. It's a great way to gear up your characters to be ready to jump right into the new expansion. Also available with the pre-patch is a return to the Alderman dungeon. This updated version of the classic dungeon tells a new story while preserving the
It was
feel
one of my
the
favorite
original.
classic dungeons.
It's now available at level 60 on normal difficulty, and it offers unique loot that is only available during this limited time.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We hope you enjoy the pre-patch event. We can't wait to see you on November 28th, where we'll uncover the secrets of the Dragon Isles together.
It's going to be an excellent adventure. Before we go, though, let's roll that beautiful cinematic one more time. And we'll see you in Azeroth.
I actually am going to analyze the cinematic after we see this. They're doing the cinematic twice so that they meet the minimum of 8 minutes to double monetize the video. Pre-purchase now. So let me see. Did they? Yeah, they did another thing of the launch cinematic. It's like we're actually gonna be pausing it this time around. I just wanted to see if they added anything new. And this has better resolution because like the one in the one that they were using in the premiere was actually really bad for some reason. I don't know what happened with the quality of that. But it's like first thing that you got to notice is how blue dragon for Alliance, red dragon for Horde, symbolizing the old colors. I do gotta say, I appreciate the fact that they put in a female dwarf. Like, dwarfs get so little representation in World of Warcraft. And I was actually watching a Bellular video earlier this morning where apparently there's actually going to be quite a bit of dwarven lore fairly early on with this Uldaman dungeon stuff, which is really cool. Like, finally, we get some decent recognition for dwarves. So thank you. Appreciate that. And it's also cool that she's a Wildhammer dwarf, because Wildhammer dwarves, for those of you that are not aware, are the ones that actually ride the griffins. In case you guys have never heard of, for instance, Falstad Wildhammer, Stad Wildhammer, Falstad Wildhammer. Like, if you go and you look at images of Falstad Wildhammer, you'll instantly see, boom, right there, dwarf on a bird. The Wildhammers are the ones who ride the griffins. I gotta say though, like, my heart goes out to Horde players. You guys get to be represented by the BFA troll race. Feels bad, man. Feels fucking bad. Oh no, dude. This is like fucking. Imagine being represented by a Zandalari troll. Sure thing, dude. Look at him. Look at him making fun of you. Look, this is the Horde. This right here is the Horde. Imagine unironically playing Horde in World of Warcraft. Oof. Oof. Feels bad, man. Feels fucking bad. There's another thing here where they're showing you how the mechanic is supposed to work, because supposedly the way that dragon riding is going to work is going to be through momentum. So they show both of these guys diving downwards to gain momentum to kind of explain to players how that whole thing is going to work out. Good old dwarven brazenness. Oh, shit! Whee! This is a pretty good cinematic, though, in my opinion. And then get rocked. This is how it goes, Horde. Get fucking rocked by a female dwarf. It's that easy. Naturally, they're having these two characters being like playful around one another to symbolize the fact that the Alliance and the Horde are actually not super enemies anymore. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, throughout most of the Mythic Plus dungeons that I've been doing, most of the people that I end up getting paired with are Horde. For some strange reason. It's like everybody and their goddamn mothers is playing Horde for some fucked up reason. Imagine that. Nature dragons. Razageth. One of the first big antagonists, it seems, of this expansion. Also, notice this particular exchange right here. Like, actually look at this. Look at what happens. Right? Razageth shows up. What happens? They close in on the Zandalari troll. Look at the Zandalari troll's face. He's like, holy shit, we're all gonna die! Oh no! This is so bad! And then look at the dwarven face. Calm, collected, controlled. Is like, this is not a problem. Just relax. We'll sort this out right now. Just dive. Let's do this. See? Again, it's just like, it listen, I didn't make the cinematic. I'm just pointing it out to you guys. It is what it is. And in here, the dwarf saves the troll. Like, actually, look at this. She saves the troll. Notice, they're both climbing, right? They're about to get caught. Notice the dwarf moves her dragon over to push the troll out of the way. Again, I didn't make this cinematic. It's just, listen, it is what it is. Troll wasn't the one who almost flies into the wall. Yeah, but he got beaten, and he was about to get eaten. If there's one thing that's been really frustrating about the Dragonflight launch, besides the obvious stuff, right? Like the fact that Blizzard's been publishing all types of shitty expansions before supposedly doing this one, which might be a decent one. We'll find out when we actually get through it. But one of the things that was very frustrating was with the cinematics. It's just like the cinematics are all about the Dracthyr, and it's like, bro, not all of us want to play a Dracthyr, right? Not all of us care about the Dracthyr. We get it. It's a big selling feature of the game. Can you like give some showcase to the other races of Azeroth as well? Or is it just Dracthyr, 24/7 Dracthyr, all you can eat Dracthyr? The projectiles look kind of small, I feel like. Am I the only one? It feels like the projectiles of Dracthyr fire are pretty small, kind of tiny. I don't know. Alexstrasza. I want to see just how much of this content, considering what they were saying, like their heavy focus on exploration and all of this stuff. I want to see how much of this content isn't like already broken down, itemized, made into lists of to-do things by the time the game releases, because you insisted on having like long-ass beta periods with everybody playing the fuck out of the game. That's the like another really frustrating thing about it. It's like I want to go into an MMORPG where everybody, when they're starting, people don't really know what the hell is going on with the game. Like, people don't know where the nodes are. People don't know what is the best recipe of whatever. People don't know what's the best in slot. And it's like, when this comes out, you can literally open up your journal, as far as my understanding is. You can literally open up your journal and see the bosses in the Vault of Incarnates, which is like the first raid tier. What do you mean? It's all optimized already. Well, exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure that you can just like download one of those easy Azeroth autopilot or whatever the fuck it is, or there's the other one that you have to pay for, which is Zygors or whatever it was. You can just download one of those add-ons. It's already going to be fully populated with the most, efficient way of playing through the game. And that's sad. Like, it's kind of sad because it takes away so much of the surprise of the expansion. Some call that solved game. Exactly. I wish it wasn't a solved game by the time it comes out. But it feels like it is mostly going to be a solved game by the time it comes out. Can't they just ban those add-ons? They don't have the balls. They don't have the balls to ban those add-ons. And then there's this presentation that they've made, which I have a couple of final bits of criticism about this presentation, which is which is number one, they call it's not in here anymore. Should be in here, right? Yeah. They called this, okay, now they changed it. Now that they do still call it Dragonflight pre-launch stream. Number one, this is not a live stream. Like, this is straight up not a live stream. This is a premiere. A premiere and a live stream are two very different things. And so another one of the criticisms that I have about what Blizzard did here is like, look, and this is not the first time that we've talked about this criticism. We've talked about this criticism at length the last time as well, which is like, you don't need this amount of production. You don't. As a matter of fact, I would argue that this amount of production is actually negative for the image that you are trying to portray. Because you're trying to portray an image of going back to the roots of Azeroth, going back to where it all began. And you have this like overly produced video, which God knows how much this costed them. Like, here's the thing. Making this video that you have right here, you're talking about a production that is in the thousands of dollars, which I know in the overall budget of World of Warcraft is probably not going to be that much. But this is a thousands, like, you know, at least two-figure in terms of thousands of dollars. I guess two-figure would be like, what, five-figure? Yeah, it's at least like a five-figure production over here for this short video that would have had so much better impact with the community if it wasn't an overproduced thing and it was just like a couple of people coming in chatting about the game that they're working on. And instead of having like a script, just let your passion speak for itself if you even are passionate about the game that you are working on. Like all of these, you know, like staged moments supposedly where these two are like dragons, and it's like it's not. What do you mean? Can they just try doing? I mean, I don't think they have to do it like the live letter, but I think that they need to do something more down to earth, because people nowadays appreciate more things that are more down to earth and are not as overly produced as this. So you're wasting money by having this be like a mega super production thing. You're wasting money. You're not gaining any credibility because you know this, like people were saying it in chat. It wasn't even me. People in chat were saying, "Oh, this feels so fake. This feels terrible." Right? So it's like it's not even to say the presentation is bad. No, from terms of like, you know, a marketing presentation, yeah, it looks fine. It's whatever. But this is not what the player base wants. The player base wants more down to earth, less overproduced bullshit. And it's just like, just have a couple of people, like a rotating panel of people coming in, saying what they have to say. No scripts. Just let them actually talk about the different talking points they want to present. And it's like, people might think, oh, but they're going to stutter. Maybe they don't have as much of a strong camera presence. It's whatever. It's not the end of the world. I stutter all the time too. It's not the end of the world. It's weird. Make it Preach presenting the expansion pack to Asmon? No, Preach should be presenting it to someone who hasn't played World of Warcraft in a while. Not someone who's already sold on the idea of World of Warcraft. They're trying to have people who aren't actors act. Yeah, not to mention that it's like the pats on the back was hilarious. Like it was I think it was at like this point of the video where these two just go like, "That was awesome!" And I was just like, yeah, guys, you know what? Isn't this stream awesome? This stream's amazing. It's like, of course you're going to say it's awesome. You're working on it. This is your game. Of course you're going to say it's awesome. Just like I believe this is the best stream on Twitch. This is the best stream on Twitch right here. This stream is awesome. Come on. It's like, what? You know, it's just like that. That's just some of the criticism that I have for it, because otherwise it's whatever, really. I did like the cinematic, though. I think it must have been one of the better cinematics for Dragonflight so far. So, yeah. That's that. I love Ruri streams. Exactly. It's exactly how that goes.